Afternoon, folks. Hello. Good afternoon and welcome to Virtual Fitness Thursday afternoon chat, and today it's called Shrink Those Fat Cells. So this is something that I am sure everybody wants to hear about. So listen up, it's just coming up to 5, so I'm just going to chit chat, like I do for a few minutes while I wait for people to join me. And of course I will save this broadcast, so if you can't join me right now, you can click and listen later. Super job. How's your day been? Has everybody had a good day so far? I hope you have, and I hope it's set to get better and you've got lots of exciting things planned for the weekend. Yay, we can go to the pub, we can go to the restaurant and get our hair done. Yay, doesn't seem so exciting now, does it really? They're going to the pub when it's all plastic barriers and all the staff have face masks on. It's just a bit clinical and a bit off-putting, but at least we can get out and about a little bit more now, so that really does help with mental health as well as everything else. Obviously helps the economy. We want to get out, we want to spend money. Oh, yeah, slippery. Well, yeah, all good, yeah. Okay, welcome those who are joining me for my Shrink Your Fat Cells talk. This is a talk that I have done in my classes on a couple of occasions, so probably not for a few years. So I'm sure if you've been coming to my classes for a few years, you would have heard this talk, because it's very visual and easy to make connections with. So I do like this one. So yay, I've got my balloon ready. Lovely. Okay, so let's just check in and make sure everybody knows what's going on for tonight. We have Clubbercise at 6:30, and then we've got HIIT, quarter to eight for HIIT. So looking forward to those very active, aerobic, heart pumping exercises to set us up nicely for the weekend. And tomorrow morning there will be your normal express HIIT, so 10 and 15 minute HIIT tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening is our semi-garden stretch, because I couldn't get out in the garden to record it because the weather was a bit naff this week. So it is, I'm sort of in my conservatory, so I can see the garden, but not quite in the garden. So that's tomorrow. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to crack on. I'm hoping that people can join in as I talk, or click and join in later. Okay, so fat cells. Everybody's got them. Nobody's exempt for them. Everybody's got them, no matter what age, what gender you are, whether you are slim, whether you are obese. Everybody's got fat cells. All fat in our body is stored in our fat cells, and the average person has around 10,000 fat cells. So this balloon here is going to represent a fat cell in our body. Obviously they're a little bit smaller than this, but it's good. So I'm just going to blow up my balloon here, blow up the fat cell. I've blown it up a few times already to make it a little bit easier for me. So I'm just going to blow it up halfway. So this is your fat cell, and I'm starting to fill it up a little bit. So this represents a fat cell, and when it's full, in your body when it's full, so not this representation of my year 4 birthday balloon, it's about the size of a Malteser. So you can imagine that. At puberty, girls get extra fat cells. And women carry most of their fat cells around their tummy and their hips. And this is nature's way of protecting our reproductive organs and all the other organs within our tummy as well. So that's why we carry our fat there. So men tend to carry their fat cells around their tummy, and sometimes we call this a beer gut. I mean, you can see that picture in your head now of what a beer gut looks like. So when women have gone through menopause and stop producing the female hormone, we stop that at menopause, we will start to carry fat around their tummies instead. And I see that a lot in my business, where people come in and say, I want to get rid of this. And yeah, absolutely possible, but a lot more challenging, because it's hormones as well as fat cells moving around. So it can happen, but definitely. So women tend to carry their weight around their tummy, and just like a man, which is called sometimes middle-aged spread. You know what I'm talking about. So here's our fat cell. It is filling up. So why is this fat cell filling up? It is filling up because we're not eating the right stuff. We're maybe eating a lot more sugar. We're maybe eating more processed foods, drinking alcohol. We're eating what we used to eat when we were back in our teens, 20s and 30s. So before menopause hit in. And we're maybe overeating, overindulging. We've got lots of stresses, emotions, and we're just eating a little bit more than what we should do. So our fat cells start to fill up. And what happens when this fat cell becomes full? I'm not going to blow it. It's not going to pop. It's not going to pop. What happens? Let me show you what happens. 1 becomes 2. So the fat cells start to double. They start to split into 2. So then the second one also starts to fill up. So that's how people get fat, because their fat cells fill up and double and fill up and double, etc. and etc. etc. So somebody who is grossly obese may have, now listen to this, 260 billion fat cells in their body. That is, excessive amount, because their fat cells have got bigger, because they're not eating right, they're not exercising, they're not looking after their body, and the fat cells keep splitting and splitting and splitting. So if you eat more calories than you burn off and so on, as I said, your fat cells will continue to split into 2. If you continue to eat too much, you'll become overweight, and then we're going to carry obviously more fat in our bodies. And it's not just going to be around the hips and tummy, it's going to be everywhere, because the fat cells can't just sit there. You physically haven't got enough space, so they have to move around the body. So you're going to get overweight in all parts of the body, not because we're just in menopause. So what can you do? I'm preaching to the preached. You guys know what you need to do. You are here in this group. You know already. Exercise, good nutrition, no fatty diets. No fatty diets. Exercise, good nutrition, persistence, and it will definitely work. And, to be accountable and to believe in yourself that you can and will do this. So if you start dieting, eating well, exercising, what's going to happen to your fat cell? Here it goes. It's getting smaller and smaller, and our fat cell starts to shrink. And then we've lost the excess weight that we've got. Our fat cells, they don't go anywhere. They don't dissolve. They're still there, but they're small. So that's fine. We can cope with that. Fat is gone. However, your body will never lose the fat cells. So you're always going to have the fat cells in your body. But if they're small, that's fine. We can cope with that. So if you've ever been overweight and you have put on weight again, have you found actually it's so much easier? Like this balloon here. So I can blow up this balloon really easily now. And I can let it out. And then I can blow it up even easier. So my balloon, all your fat cells become a little bit saggy. And they're so easy to fill up again and again and again. So you hear women say, I lost the weight and I put it on again and I put on more as well. And it's so easy to put that weight back on again. And it happens all the time. So yeah, our empty fat cells are so much easier to fill up the next time around, and the next time around, and the next time around. And maybe every time you lose weight and gain, you gain more. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. So when you exercise, your body produces a chemical reaction which starts to break down your fat cells, which is why exercise combined with good nutrition is the only way forward. If you just change your food and don't do any exercise, then your body's going to start metabolizing your muscles, and your body becomes a little bit of a cannibal and starts eating away at the muscles. You need your muscles to lose weight. Muscles are metabolically active, and you need muscles to help lose weight. You need strong muscles, which is why strength training, resistance training, and cardiovascular training, everything I do on this group is what we need. So a chemical reaction starts to break down your fat cells. This chemical reaction needs oxygen and glucose. I want you to just hold that thought. I'm going to come back to glucose in a minute. Okay, so if you do take regular aerobic type exercising, so, you know, aerobics, box fit, HIIT, these will increase your heart rate and your body will get better and you'll get fitter with this, and this process will help you to lose weight. You know this. The more exercise you do, and I'm not talking about doing more and more every week, but I'm talking about continuing and doing more exercise so that you are doing a good amount every week. Your fat will become the main fuel for your exercise. So instead of using glucose, your body will start to use fat, which is what we want. We don't want the body to use glucose from our body. We want our body to use fat. So continue with exercise. So don't think, oh, I'm going to exercise for 4 weeks, lose that weight, and then I'll be fine. You've got to continue. So keep with that exercise. Keep with the exercise, all different types. So continuing with exercise, once you've reached your target weight, will help you to ensure that your fat cells do not fill up again. So it's not a quick fix. This is definitely not a quick fix. And, you know, I've heard people say, well, I could just get liposuction. Yeah, just get liposuction. Suck out all those fat cells and I won't have to worry about it again. Doesn't work that way. If only it was that straightforward, you know. Painful and quite horrible, I should imagine. But when you have liposuction, it doesn't suck out the fat cells. The fat cells remain there. So as soon as you go back to poor eating and no exercise, your balloon is going to fill up and it's going to end up like this again. So it's not a quick fix to get liposuction at all. Okay, let's go back to that thought on glucose. So remember I said that when you exercise, there's a chemical reaction which starts to break down your fat cells. You need oxygen and glucose for this. So when we do aerobic type exercises, so when our heart's pumping, we're using oxygen, which is great. So that's why strength training on its own is not recommended for weight loss, but cardiovascular and strength training together, the two together, is a winning combination. And obviously with eating well as well, you're on a winner, you're on for a winner. So you're definitely going to lose weight as long as you're eating the right stuff and doing the right amount of exercise. Another function of glucose is to store water. Now the reason why I want to tell you this is because a lot of people think that they can cut down dramatically for a couple of weeks, and they'll see, and I've seen it all the time, where they cut down all their, you know, sugar, bad carbs, processed foods, alcohol, do some exercise, and then in 2 weeks they see this amazing result on those scales and see it all the time, which is fantastic. You know, I'm never going to knock that. But basically the glucose within our body also stores water. So more than likely, those first couple of weeks, you're just losing water from your fat cells, not necessarily fat. So if you've had a great result for the first couple of weeks, brilliant. Don't think, oh, I can stop now. You absolutely have got to keep it up, and you've got to keep up that exercise. So the combined fluid and muscle loss can be quite drastic on the scale. So you can see that from maybe the first or second time you weigh. But in reality, you end up with a higher percentage of body fat, even though you weigh less. So you might be losing water, you might be losing muscle, but you haven't lost fat, which is what we want to do. We don't want to lose water. We don't want to lose muscle. We want to lose fat. So you've got to be, again, you've got to do that cardiovascular. You've got to get the oxygen in to your body. So you've got to do that heart pumping type exercise. You've got to do the strength training to make sure that you your muscles metabolize and help with your weight loss. And you've got to eat well. But yeah, so in reality, you end up with a higher percentage of body fat, even though you weigh less. So you might be lighter, but you might be flabbier. And have you ever found that when you've been away on holiday for a couple of weeks, where you haven't done your exercise and you've eaten more, high sugary foods and more alcohol? You think, oh, I feel a bit flabbier. So that's what's happening with your body, because you've lost a little bit of muscle and you've gained a little bit more fat, but in reality you might not weigh that much difference. So when people lose weight this way, so when they are not exercising and they are just cutting down on all their carbohydrates, if you're missing out that carbohydrate group, then you're going to lose weight quickly. But when you go back to normal, you're going to gain it again, and your fat cells are going to increase again. So no fatty diets, no quick fix diets, no like I'm going to cut back immensely for 2 weeks and lose loads and loads of weight. You might, but it's not the right weight. And if you lose muscle, then it's so much more difficult to, when you gain the weight, to lose it again, because you've lost that muscle and you need muscle to help metabolize the fat. So I hope that makes sense. And I think my ending bit of this talk with you is exercise cardiovascular, exercise strength training, and eat well, but don't overdo it. Have your treats, but don't overdo it. So balance and control. Okay, hope that's helpful. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know how you feel about the old balloon of fat cells, and whether that resonates with you, and whether that's a bit more visual and something that you can sort of really focus on and understand. Okay, my lovelies, see you at Club of Size 6:30, and have a great, hour. Bye.